Victoria, Megan Baulch of Monty First Nations Allies will speak on Finding Our Heart Story Walk project, how a few passionate parents are connecting schools with the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
Hello everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be with you all here tonight. I'm sharing our story from the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Woiwurrung language group, whose name interprets as the Witchettigrub people. I'd like to acknowledge that the inseparable connection in which the Wurundjeri people and all Indigenous people have with the land, animals, plants, water, sky, and people. They are neither above or below these elements, but equal to an intrinsic connection that has resulted in Australia having the oldest continuing culture in the world. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors over the past 65,000 years who have lived, breathed, and evolved a culture that could stand the test of time. I'd like to acknowledge the Indigenous people today who are living and relearning culture, as well as establishing ways for all Australians to come together after a struggle so that Indigenous and non-Indigenous people of today and tomorrow can continue this culture for the next 65,000 years. My name's Megan Baulch. I'm a 44-year-old non-Indigenous Australian with a deep passion for learning and connecting with Indigenous culture and people. I'm a mum of 2 primary school children, Roy 9 and Daisy 7, and a partner of one incredible human, Stu. So, and I also, that turn over, how do I go to the next slide? Oh, no, I've gone too far, sorry. And I'm also the forming member of the Monty First Nations Allies, all of these wonderful humans spread over this page. It's almost impossible for us to all be in the one place at the one time, but we are the Monty First Nations Allies. We came together just after Reconciliation Week last year, led by the call of the NAIDOC theme to get up, stand up and show up. We shared a discomfort around the ways in which we perceived our schools to be teaching our kids about Indigenous culture and history. What was visible to us didn't feel like enough. What we were presented with at Assembly last year and Reconciliation Week felt really box ticking, and in hindsight probably triggering because we didn't want another generation to miss out on learning about the true history and culture of this country. So that was a year ago, 12 months ago, and what we've realised as a group is that we are all responsible for reconciliation, and the national conversation that's happening right now across our communities is long overdue, and our schools have a part to play, but we also have a part to play, and we all need to get up, stand up and show up. So our group over the last 12 months, well, actually over the last 6 months, have really been focused on having community conversations around the Statement of the Heart and the constitutional change that is ahead of us. We were very lucky because we've got our wonderful Monty Community Group on the call tonight. We put together a proposal to our Monty Community Group to help us connecting with schools, to help schools learn about, school communities learn about the Statement of the Heart, and also us to help engage in community conversations. So what we did is we got some funding from the Monty Community Group and permission from the publishers of this book, Finding Our Heart, that Thomas Mayo has written, one of many books that Thomas Mayo has written. And we've had a 22 instalment story walk created that we're moving from school to school. I'll show you the next slide. I'll show you a video of it. So we actually launched this story walk in Reconciliation Week at the community barbecue at our local Indigenous centre at Barbon and Beek. We go down to Barbon and Beek every Friday and we do food bank down there. So we have been establishing a beautiful relationship with the Indigenous community down there, and they were absolutely honoured that we started our story walk here, and we equally were. So we really valued that they wanted to have it at their Reconciliation Week barbecue. The kids absolutely loved it. Uncle Charles, who is on the board down there and one of our wonderful local elders, loved it so much that he wanted us to put it in every single school across Banyule, and then he was saying we needed to get it in every single school across Victoria. We haven't done that, but we have got it. It's currently at its 6th transition. this last week we got funding to have another 7 printed, so that one's going to New South Wales, one's going to Canberra, and we're having another 5 within kind of northeast Victoria. That means that we can be cycling more through the schools. And there's no waste involved in these, because obviously, although this is kind of around the statement of the heart and around the referendum, this is a book that schools will be able to use for a long time. So our plan is at the end of, once the referendum is over and once we finish doing our journey through the schools, our plan is to actually leave these or gift these to the Indigenous school, or the schools that have what's called the Koori Network schools. We're going to offer this story walk to stay at their schools so that they can use from then on. So that's the story walk. It's a few of the kids engaging at the story walk. This is at Rosanna Primary. This is the principal at Rosanna Primary who came and installed it last weekend with us on a Sunday. We're getting to meet and establish relationships with schools that our kids don't go to, which is just amazing, because we have big visions for what Monty First Nations allies and alongside Melbourne and Baulch community can do at schools to help improve the way that our schools and our families and our communities are learning about First Nations culture and history, because there are big gaps. We didn't get taught it at school either. So what we've learnt as a group is that we want to help make our schools do this better. So we're building these beautiful relationships with lots of schools along the way. Another thing that how much time have I got left?
2 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay. And what we're doing alongside Story Walk is we're encouraging people to have conversations through Together Yes. So we put the story walks in the schools, and on all of our boards we have links to the Together Yes, which is a kitchen table conversation model. And this is the conversations and this is the learning that we're encouraging our communities to do. We're also running kitchen table conversations. This is me running one here. Has anyone done a kitchen table conversation? Just tell me yes, because I can't see your faces.
Yes.
No? Yes. Yeah, okay, awesome. Is that me?
Yes.
Is that me? Awesome. They are a really amazing resource right now that are free for anyone to use. You don't need to have any existing knowledge of the referendum, why this change on the table is important, because it is a model that takes you through a conversation. So I've just taken a few screenshots here in hope that I can encourage those who haven't seen Together Yes to look it up and sign up as a host and just have a look through the materials and see if it's something that you want to do, or maybe try and find someone who's running a conversation. Once you sign up, there are these 2 conversations that happen. The first one's why recognition matters, and the second one is about enshrining the voice. They go for about 2 hours. The idea is to have it with 10 people, no more than 10 people, and I wouldn't recommend more than 10 people because it's about the conversation. You want to let that flow. And you have the conversations about 3 to 4 weeks apart, so that once you have that first conversation, that what you learn can kind of marinate and you can think about, read the papers and have conversations with others and really build on what you've learned at that second session. It is a wonderful model. This second screenshot up here shows you there is an agenda, it's timed. You can either print out the materials or you can do it online. It's a combination of videos. There are activities that you do. There are things that you read. Every activity has a number, not a lot, but a couple of questions that you read out and kind of reflect on as a group. And they are a really beautiful way to connect and learn together, because, as humans, we're actually great at connecting with others. And this is just providing us with a framework to have those conversations, to learn together about, why this very important moment of time is one that we want to encourage as many people as we can to make informed decisions on voting day. Because really, if you don't know, the best thing you can do is find out. So that is my talk. I really, I hope maybe that I might have inspired in some of you, if you're not already, to maybe consider your role as a First Nations ally. We would like to offer you all the artwork for our story walk. We've got permission to put it in school, so you are more than welcome to take it to your communities, to take it to your schools, to get it printed, and to encourage the conversation and the learning around the statement from the heart, because it really is a beautiful invitation for all Australians. It is an ask. More than 80% of Indigenous people want this change, and it's really important for us to understand that. And finally, I hope that maybe if you haven't engaged in a kitchen table conversation, you'll look up Together Yes, and maybe consider hosting a conversation or looking for one to join, because they really are they're a great tool for us to use right now. So that is it. If you want to find out more, Monty First Nations, we've got a closed Facebook page, which is closed for a reason. So it's a place where you can ask, it's safe to ask whatever questions that you have about being an ally, about the referendum that's happening right now. And we also have an Instagram page, which when it's not so active, it's really just for Thomas Mayo, so that whenever we move the story walk, we tag him into it, and he often replies back, which is really lovely. So that is me. Thank you very much for having me.